right, so what we're going to go back and look at again is perimeter. But this time, if you notice, it says perimeter of composite shapes. So what it means by composite shapes means, and it's down here for our goal too, perimeter of composite shapes. It means it's a shape that's made up of other shapes. So it's shapes put together. So if we look at what I've done here is I've given us steps. So we're going to follow these steps, and I've done this for some of the other videos that we're going to get to. So first it says look at the sides around the shape. Because remember, perimeter is the distance around. Okay, and it says find any missing sides. So the first one I have here is this one here. It says house and garage. And if I start, I'm going to decide to start here. Let's see, I have 100, I have 60, I have 50, I have 50, I have 50, I have 20, I have 100, I have 90. So on this composite shape, guess what? I don't have to find any missing sides because I know them all. So because I know them all I need to do is add all their lengths together. Now to help the person watching what we're doing, we still write down all the numbers we are going to add. Now again, I'm just going to keep track of where I started, so I'm just going to put a little star there. So I'm going to start at the top and go around clockwise. So I have 100 plus the 60 plus the 50 and another 50 and another 50 and a 20, another 100, and finally a 90. Now you could go around like we did with one of our other examples and say, well, I have two 100s, so I can go 2 times 100, and that's fine too. So you're either going to do this in your head or you're going to pull out your calculator to do the calculations. Now when you have a whole string of numbers, sometimes it is faster and easier and more accurate to pull out a calculator. It's not that we couldn't do these in our head, but it makes it much easier. So I end up with 520. Now I don't know what the measurement, like what the units are, because it just says 50. It could be 50 meters, it could be 50 feet. I'm going to say it's 50 feet. Or if it's not there, what you can do is your teacher might prefer you just to put 520 units, and the teacher can figure out what the units are. All right, so that one was kind of nice because it gave us, it was a composite shape. You can see that it was made of, I'm going to use, sorry, I have to make sure I don't use my pet magic pen because it becomes too magic. Maybe I will still use it. Okay, you can see that I have, looks like a rectangle, but the problem is I don't need this part if I'm talking about perimeter. And it looks like this one here is a square, but again, I don't need it to do that. I don't need this in between part. So that's why formulas for perimeter of composite shapes aren't very helpful. Okay, so let's look at our second one, which is to the right, the one we just did. And what I'm going to do first of all is I'm just going to, after I finish making a mess, oops, after that goes away, I am just going to make this line a little less big, long. There we go, just so that we can look at this one a little bit closer. Okay, so again, the first step says look at the sides. So if I look at the sides, if I start at the right-hand corner or top left-hand corner and go around, you can see that again that we have 4, 3, oh no, I don't know that, a 5, a 10, and I don't know that one. So we have 2 places that we have to calculate what their side lengths are. Okay, one of them is here. And the second one is this one over here. So before I can find the perimeter, I have to calculate those values. So let's take a look at maybe the number 1 first. If I look at number 1, it's looking at this distance this way. Now, do I have any other numbers in my question that are horizontal. In other words, are lying flat this way. Well, yeah, I have this 4 up here, and oh, and I have this long one down here. So by looking at that, I can see that the longest one, the 10, includes the one I want to find. And you can see that the part it doesn't include is the 4 that they gave me up here. So what I can do to find what the length is for number 1 is I can go 10 minus 4, and that's going to equal 6 centimeters. Okay, so now let's take a look at number 2. Number 2 is vertical, so it's the ones that are going straight up and down. So I need to see if there's any other sides that are vertical like that. Well, I can see that I have, this is a 3, and there's another one over here, this is a 5. Now notice where they attach. So actually, if I add that 3 and the 5, that would be the same as my number 2 that I need to find. So that means I'm going to take my 3, I'm going to add 5 to it, and that gives me a total of 8 centimeters. So now I have found everything I need for the perimeter. So it's just a matter of taking it and adding everything together. So my perimeter is going to equal, again, I'm going to start in the top left-hand corner, 4 plus 3 plus, oh, there's our number 1 we found, 6 plus 5 plus 10 plus, and number 2 was 8. Okay, so it's really important too that you show your teacher, or anyone for that matter that's looking at your work, that you show them this work here, because otherwise they have no idea where you got that 6 from, no idea where you got that 8 from, and so that just helps them. So now when we add these together, we'll see what we get. And when we add those together, we get 36, and this time they did give us the units, it is centimeters. So there are 2 questions for you to use as examples. Might make another video to help you with another kind if you so wish, but let's try that first. Have fun doing math.